before we get to any of that, time for our regular Royal Roundup with the former Royal Editor of The Sun, Charlie Rae. Hi, Charlie.
Hello, Kevin.
Now, first off, let's talk about Frogmore Cottage. I've never known a house to dominate so many headlines as Frogmore Cottage, but something to do with the Sussexes, Harry and Meghan, struck a deal with Buckingham Palace that they would not have to pay any more rent on Frogmore Cottage because after they paid back £2.4 million of taxpayer money used on its refurbishment. So what was this all about, Charlie?
Right, what happened was that when Frogmore Cottage was given to the couple as, in effect, a wedding present by the Queen, they had to, or it wasn't a wedding present because they had to pay a commercial rent, which was about £150,000 a year. Now, they only paid a few months because, if you remember, that's when they decided to up sticks and head off to Los Angeles, Montecito. But, of course, if you remember as well, there was a huge outcry because just before they moved in, there was an awful lot of refurbishment went, 2.4 million. Now, lots of people, everybody jumped up and down, saying we paid 2.4 million. These two have, jumped ship and gone off. And so they were, in effect, forced. This is not them sort of thinking, oh, let's save the money and let's give it all back. They were forced to give this money back to the Privy Purse, this 2.4 million, our money. But, of course, they've done a deal which showed that they didn't have to pay any rent anymore. Partially because, Kevin, they were not coming back here. I think they only used it once in recent times. I think it was when when Harry and Meghan came back for some Jubilee, I think it was, they stayed there. So that's the essence of it. But, of course, people are saying, well, hang on a minute, why have they, got this free rental place? But I suspect it's because they were never going to use it. They've only used it once.
And what's the actual score with Frogmore Cottage now? Then, right. Hypothetically, right, if Harry and Meghan came back for the coronation, we don't know who's going to come, how many of them, if any. But suppose they both did come back, maybe even brought the kids. Would they stay at Frogmore Cottage? Is it always there for them?
No, it's not always there for them because Frogmore Cottage is now going to house that other bad penny of the royal family, Prince Andrew. He is being kicked out of Windsor Lodge because that is a very expensive place. The King has also decided to cut down on the amount of money that the King personally gives Andrew. He doesn't get any money from the Privy Purse, but he gives money from Prince Charles. And Charles has gone through the accounts and said, I'm sorry, matey, you're not going to get your £250,000 a year anymore. I don't know what the figure is yet. I don't think it's been decided, but it's certainly going to be a lot less than 250,000. Now, so he is going to get Frogmore Cottage. Now, he's kicking and screaming because, as far as he's concerned, this is not fit for the second, the eldest brother of the King. It's only a 5-bedroom cottage, Kevin. Come on.
An absolute hovel.
I mean, it's a hovel. Yeah. Absolute hovel. So he's going to move in there. Now, I suspect, though, that's not going to happen for some months. So to answer your question, if Harry and Meghan come over, even if it's with the kids, they could well stay at Frogmore Cottage or one of the other places. But Frogmore Cottage, it would be the best place because it's within the confines of the royal palaces and it would be easy to protect them without actually giving them extra security.
You mentioned Prince Andrew there. Let's talk about his money. I mean, we got the story last week that he was dismayed and bemused, apparently, that King Charles, having inherited 650 million from his mum, wasn't sharing this money around, and that Andrew was seeing nothing of it. We learnt down the way, as you just indicated, Charlie, that he gets 250,000 quid a year, or hitherto has got that from the monarch. So Charlie's been paying that up. Charlie clearly doesn't want to carry on giving him that much, part of the apparently is, apart from getting this money, apparently all his bills, and I don't know if other royals are like this, but all his bills are handed to the Privy Purse. To be settled by the king, and apparently the king was going through the accounts, saying,
right.
"What am I paying Andrew for here?" And he found one bill. We did this story yesterday. £32,000 a year for hiring an Indian healer. Prince Charles, who likes that kind of thing, you know, he's a bit new age and hippie-ish, but he drew the line there and said, "Wait a second, no way! I mean, £32,000 a year."
I know, even the king thought that this was just over the for Andrew to get a hit. Now this healer came, and I think he spent
a month or something,
a month or so with Andrew, so he could sit on his living room chanting Om or whatever to get his mind right. Well, clearly this mystic, whoever he is, hasn't done a very, very good job, because Andrew is in terrible, terrible problems, still all over the place. And I think the king, you're absolutely quite right, he's going through the bills and looked at it and thought, hang on a minute, you know, a mystic, you know, just sort of help his mental health. This is ridiculous. So he's told him he's got to pay for that himself. He's going to, if he's going to carry on using it.
Yeah, and I suspect that, I was saying this yesterday, that if someone else is paying for an Indian healer that you hire, that you rent or whatever you do with them, and the bill is £32,000 a year, if someone else is paying, you go, yeah, I'll get that Indian.
Oh, absolutely, I'll have one of them.
Yeah. If that person turns around to you and says, no, you're paying for this Indian healer yourself, you're going to pay the £32,000 a year, you'll find that a lot of people go, you know what, I think I can do without an Indian healer. So,
I've had enough.
Yeah.
We've gone as far as we can. I'm healed.
Thanks for all your help in the past. So I don't think the Indian healer is going to play a part in royal life anymore. But what in terms of let's move on to the coronation, of course. Again, another topic that seems to dominate so much of our royal discourse at the moment. I mean, Andrew, we understand, of course, will attend the event, but he's going to be given a place in the God's way at the back so you can't see him. And there's some indication, Charlie, that standing sort of almost next to him, another person who will not be given a prominent position, will be Prince Harry, because the word is that Prince Harry might be the only member of his family that attends, leaving Meghan and the kids back in California, and that he's going to be given a place in what they call Iceland, you know, the kind of Siberia of the pews.
Well, whatever happens, Andrew, Beatrice and Eugenie are not having a formal role in the coronation. If Harry comes over, and I still doubt it, but if Harry does come over with Meghan on the kids or him on his own, he too will not play a major role in the coronation. Except, of course, Kevin, the problem is that we're now 7 weeks away from the coronation. We're still talking about whether Harry and Meghan are going to come, because they've got an invitation. They have, the kids haven't yet. They've got an invitation, but they haven't responded. So you've got the palace people making two plans, one with them, including them, one not including them. Now, the problem we've got now is whatever happens at this coronation, it's already going to be tainted, because if Harry comes, there's going to be huge stories about Harry. You can imagine what's going to happen. We're going to get all the body experts out. We're going to get all the lip readers out to see what the score is and everything. I mean, it's going to be, if he doesn't come, it's another big story. So the coronation is going to be marred because of the family itself. You know, Harry and the bad boys of the royal family, Harry and Andrew. And I don't see any way around it. I mean, Andrew's got himself embroiled in another court case in America to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, his chances of getting back again, as we've discussed on a number of occasions, on the royal treadmill and earning, and being a representative of the royal family, are less than nil. It's just impossible for him to do anything.
Indeed, yeah, because the Virginia Giuffre is now suing a couple of banks, isn't she?
Well, it's a lady called Jane Doe.
Oh, no, it's a friend of
a lady called Jane Doe. She is suing Deutsche Bank and JP Morgan because she is saying that they facilitated Jeffrey Epstein in doing what he's done, and they have said that Andrew was engaged in extreme and outrageous conduct, and his accuser has also said this. So do you remember Andrew saying he wanted to try and renegotiate or get back into the case to try and get it dismissed because Virginia Giuffre had with a banker said she made a mistake, but it's getting worse and worse. There is no way he can go to a court and say I'm innocent. You've already paid out all this money to a woman who you claim you have very little recollection of. Well, he's not doing at all well. This is going to be sitting on his shoulder for the rest of his life. I mean, even in the extreme circumstance that old Virginia comes out and says, I'm sorry, I made it all up, it's still going to be stink. He's still going to be covered in stink. Yeah,
he was still a close friend of Jeffrey Epstein.
Absolutely. You can't take away that.
Convicted paedophile, so you can't get away with that. So let's go back to Harry and Meghan now. We know how they make their living now. They monetise their connection to the royal family. So uncomfortable though it might be, I think that this couple will be minded to try to attend the coronation because it maintains their close connection to the royal family, and that's how they make money. So the danger, though, and I'm sure they will be invited, the danger is, Charlie, if they do attend, their presence could turn this sacred ceremony into something of a circus.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no doubt. It's going to be a circus anyway now, whether they turn up or not turn up, because it's constant. It's practically every day. We're looking at. We know they've been invited. We know that Harry and Meghan have been invited. They're still. How ignorant of them not to almost RSVP immediately and say, yes, we're going to come, or no, we're not going to come. It is incredible what these two are doing. Now, if they bring the kids, fine. It'll be a great day out for little Archie. It'll be his 4th birthday anyway. So that's a great present to his granddad, being crowned king. And let's not forget, for a great many people, this is a very, very significant occasion. A lot of people will not see another coronation. This is a once-in-a-lifetime scenario you've got here. And I'm afraid, Harry and Meghan, seem to be doing their best to taint it in some way or
another. They do indeed. What's Meghan up to? She seems to have gone rather quiet, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Harry's been catching all the flack, making don't knock it.
Let's not poke the stick too much, Kevin.
But exactly right. But is she not relaunching her lifestyle blog?
Yeah. The Stig or Tig or whatever.
The Tig. Yeah.
The TIG, whatever it's called. She was supposed to be doing some sort of Gwyneth Paltrow style lifestyle scenario. So I'm sure that will go down well in the streets of Grimsby.
Yes, can't wait. Charlie, it's been great to talk to you as always. Thank you so much for your time. We'll do it again next week.